No more coin tossing? In today's video, we're gonna talk about The Witcher Blood Origin being one of the worst, if not the worst, Game of Thrones knockoffs. Imagine making a show you think would be a hit, but all it hits is rock bottom. It really made fans go, huh? Speaking of fans, we're also gonna take a look at exactly why everyone hates the new prequel spinoff. Let's dive in, shall we? First things first, introducing a new category, the best failure. After the show made its premiere on Christmas and just absolutely destroyed the hype that fans had, everyone debated whether the prequel about the Witcher world without any Witchers was awful or just really horrible. And this debate was even before the spin-off was released, basing all the judgments on the series trailers. Since the prequel is concentrated on the expanding elf realm and none of the Witchers are present to battle creatures who don't exist, many fans kinda had a point. The release disappointed many, but the Daily Mail gave us this whole worst Game of Thrones knockoff video idea. Shout out Nick Shager. Your perspective gave birth to our video. Following up with more rants. We read somewhere, and we think it was another review, which wrote that The Witcher has become a stale tale that's only propped up by the glowering charm of Henry Cavill, right? Have you ever seen a more perfect actor? Wait, we think it was from the same guy. Nick's lengthy review that basically disregarded Blood Origin, but apparently people really shared the same opinions as the reviewer, especially when he said that the show lacked vision and action and had way too many fantasy cliches. It honestly was more of a criticism rather than a review, and claimed that the year's 2022 offered us the Rings of Power and House of the Dragon, which are there as superior franchise-extending endeavors. Contrarily, the critics contend that Blood Origin's narrative building lies between dismal and humiliating. And we'll get to this in a minute in detail. But if you look at it, Netflix had the chance to make the best fantasy Magic World Series of their own, but they really just didn't feel like it. Moving on, we can't look at one review and judge a show. Now, can we? Alright, so this is undoubtedly just one industry insider's view, and often what happens is that fans and critics usually differ in what they consider to be nice. This time, they seem to be in harmony. Imagine just destroying a franchise so bad that fans and critics join forces. It really makes you wonder how The Witcher Season 4 is gonna be. Since most Reddit comments are blatantly critical, it's clear that the audience was anticipating the series to fail from the get-go. While they may not despise it as much as some do, some fans of the Witcher universe think that the prequel is unquestionably bad. They think it would be intriguing to investigate the demise of the elves and the fusion of the realms. They also paid attention to the production value, which is obviously a step down from the first series, but is still high enough to not draw their notice. Coming up, here's the whole less episodes issue. The show's pacing, according to many viewers, is troublesome. It doesn't seem like a great idea for them to try to cram that much mythology, plot, and people into only 4 episodes. And if you look at reviews, this is what you'll find in all of them: the length of the show. They really couldn't do 6, could they? Many other fans say that not only the length, but the writing of the spin-off, which is excessively poor, by the way, is another of the main problems. And we think, if we may, we can vouch for this one. Having watched the show, it is just bad writing. Fans complain that the conversation is awful, and that the audience is just given the characters' backstories without understanding their reasons. Majorly being referred to as the most uneven fantasy world fans have ever encountered. The accents are all over the place, and the elf culture appears to be a carbon replica of the current Witcher series, which is really bizarre given that all societies change and grow through time. 1,200 years and no evolution. We almost forgot that while viewers complimented the program for being diverse, they also concurred that it is never a good idea for diversity to become the focus of a series. The gamble didn't really pay off. Moving on, fans rip ripped the prequel to shreds. Remember 2019? Everything was so good. We got The Witcher for the first time, there was no COVID, and it felt like everything was gonna go according to plan for the series. When the series first began, fans were so happy, and Henry Cavill's casting as Geralt of Rivia seemed so perfect that it didn't take long for the same optimistic rumor to spread over the internet that maybe, just maybe, Netflix finally had a Game of Thrones-sized smash on its hands. But unfortunately, what has transpired after The Witcher's positive first season included a yawn of a second season, Cavill's departure announcement, and the release of this eBay Game of Thrones spin-off that has been nothing short of a master lesson in how to completely trash a brand. Coming up, let's take a look at the reviews. As we mentioned earlier, Blood Origin has essentially been ripped to shreds by both critics and fans alike, leaving aside the enormous disaster that has surrounded Cavill's post-season 3 departure next year. We really are waiting for the full story, although rumor has it that he left because of Superman. Another rumor says that it's because the production team was moving away from the source material. Looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score, which at the time of making this video is a dismal 35% among reviewers and a shockingly low 9% among viewers. Boy, oh boy, did the Rotten Tomatoes critics come out with guns fully loaded. And again, the focus is the same: bad writing. Because, hey, the acting is okay, it's not bad. You can tell that the authors truly despise the original source material. One word comes to mind, and that's an oof. And now we know what's gonna happen after season 3 when Henry is replaced by Liam. The main show is likely to quickly deteriorate if this is the kind of writing we can expect to see without anyone fighting to maintain adherence to the original material. Another comment that stood out to us was when a fan said that they looked up the writers' names so they don't watch anything else from them again. And even though the prequel quickly rose to the top of Netflix's top 10 a day after its premiere, it just shows that fans just wanted the assurance that it won't work without Henry. Not to mention, here's one thing the fans absolutely hate. Producer Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich and writer Declan DeBarra are part of the team behind Blood Origin. The fact that the show has turned into something of a MacGuffin among fans is what's so awful about it, and there's a chance that the franchise could even be beyond rescuing at this point. Everyone seems to be talking about the show, giving the impression that the conversation isn't actually about the show. The majority of the comments focus on issues like the artistic direction, Henry's reason or reasons for departing, the story's modifications, the conviction of certain fans that the writer's room must blatantly dislike the source material, and so forth may just be the reasons it all went down so bad. Many say that the reason they stopped liking it wasn't even because they stopped following the novels. The show just seems bland. What's more, the performance was flat. Just imagine something without any sort of excitement. Our vacuum cleaner probably packs more of a punch. And hey, even when they adhered to the books, too much effort was put into making Yennefer the main character or making sure that every single character got from one point to the other. Literally, now that we're all hating on it simultaneously, we gotta say, wasn't season 1 also rushed? They just had to unite Daddy Geralt to his child Surprise just to start another arc in season 2. One thing we will never get is why Netflix continues canceling programs that have a strong, devoted fan following, yet they permit titles like The Witcher, which we have already stated could have been their own Game of Thrones level of a show, to be completely driven into the ground. Such a low audience rating for a recently launched, well-liked Netflix series is most likely something you have never seen before. Fans had anticipated difficult times for the series, including the Blood Origins spin-off, but this bad? Just 3 days in, the numbers keep dropping on Rotten Tomatoes. And again, as we mentioned at the start of the video, they might introduce the biggest failure category at award shows just so Blood Origin could get some sort of W. And yes, whenever you might have seen on the internet, it's possible it's all true. Some say it's so bad, they forgot the characters' names the next day. Finally, did they steal plots? Fans believe that the studio may have copy-pasted plots from different places. For example, some fans think that Episode 3 was borrowed from the Full Metal Alchemist origin tale. In addition, many didn't really like something they're calling forced diversity. And despite the fact that opinions on this specific topic are typically split, the majority of the fanbase kinda agrees on this one. While some claim that no one cares about the Witcher universe without Geralt, others think the issue is far more serious, and Netflix should end the production because of the production's poor audience rating. Like, really, just bribe Henry to jump back and do what he says, rather than just spending more on a show that has people irritated. We read this funny comment somewhere as it said that every writer on the project should be fired immediately. It's funnier as the person's username was Legacy Killa. We do feel bad for Liam. The guy has been working his butt off according to his co-actors, but we don't think we're ready for anyone other than Henry. If you haven't already, do give it a shot. Who knows? Maybe you'll like it. In the meanwhile, the original series will continue without Henry Cavill as its major lead, which might just add to the franchise's troubles in the aftermath of the spin-off's dismal success. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think The Witcher Blood Origin is absolutely the worst Game of Thrones knockoff yet? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.